Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Hope you had a great weekend. Appreciate you taking a few moments. If you want to follow along, Genesis chapter 24, we will begin in verse number 33. And because of the length of our passage this morning, we're going all the way down to the 48th verse. And so I'm not going to read it all. And also, it's basically a summary of what has happened up to this point as they sat down to eat. The food set here, and the servant says, "I'm not going to eat till I say what I have to say." And he's told, "Go ahead." And he begins telling the story. "I'm Abraham's servant. He's got a great flock, and he sent me here to find a mate, a spouse for his son." And so he just rehashes everything up unto this point. It's really kind of the Reader's Digest version of what we have been covering. But I think the point that we need to, that strikes me at least, is that we see the faithfulness of this man to his task. I'm not going to eat till I tell you what I got to say. I may not even need to hang around here long enough to eat after I tell you what I'm here for. And so he's under again very specific orders. He is he is there representing Isaac and Abraham, and he is there, and it is obvious as you follow this story that this gentleman, this servant, he had his mission, he had his job at the front of his mind at all times. You can tell as you read this, he's been getting ready for this moment. He's been thinking through and practicing. What am I going to say? What am I going to say to this girl's daddy when I meet him? I'm here to take your daughter away. How am I going to say that? And so he's thought this through, and he's made plans for how he's going to serve his master. And again, if you read over verses 33 all the way down to verse 48, you'll see that he goes into great detail at everything that had led up to this point, which just, I think, shows us how seriously he was taking the job that he'd been given. He didn't just say, "Hey, I come to get your daughter." He goes into great detail. This is a very serious, a very important mission that he is on. And so he lays this out. And when we watch him, if you think back over this story of how we got to this point, we see that this servant he's had one task. He's had one thing on his mind. And that was finding this woman, this mate for Isaac, doing the job that his master had given him. That was all he was thinking about. Certainly, this man had things of his own that needed tending to. Surely he had a family. Surely he had a wife and children and interest of his own. But the master has given him an assignment, and nothing, including dinner, is going to stop him from the task that has been given him. Great lesson for believers today. Too often we get distracted. We get sidetracked in serving God, and we let other things get in our way. We let sometimes it's external, sometimes it's internal, sometimes it's things going on around us, sometimes it's things going on in us that we allow to get our attention off of God. I'll give you one simple example I think most of you can probably quickly identify with, and that's trying to pray. How many times when we try to pray, when we try to communicate, try to talk to our Father, does something that goes on around us interfere or interrupt that prayer? or even more than interrupt it, just stop it from ever happening to begin with. We just get so busy that we just don't pray. How many times does we try to pray and our minds wheeling about work and family and kids and finances and health and all those things, and the next thing you know, we've drifted off and thinking about something else and got off of our prayer. It's easy to get distracted by external and internal influences. This man had both. He's in a foreign land. He's around strangers. He's on an odd mission. He's got family back at home. He's got external and internal things going on. But he says, listen, I'm not going to eat till I say what I need to say. I'm going to do what the Master sent me to do. I hope that's our prayer today. Don't let things distract you and keep you away from being and doing what God wants you to be. Have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.